Hiya. So I got your questions through from Microsoft Teams, and I figured it would be easiest to just make a video for it. So, your first one was about the 2 cycle routes. It says Sanjit is cycling the blue route, and he takes a break exactly halfway. So, how many kilometers has he cycled at this point? So he's got 7.25 kilometers to go in total. The first thing that you want to do with that is convert that to an improper fraction. So you've got 7.25. Let's convert that to an improper fraction. Now the rule we use is big times bottom plus top. So you'll have 7 times 4, which gives you 28 quarters in 7 holes, plus 1. So 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29 quarters there in total. All right. Now we want to halve that. Now the easiest way to halve that is to take 29 over 4 and multiply it by a half. Okay, so you get 29 over 8, and then we'll convert that later. Some people find that a little bit confusing, and so if you want to halve it, you can also halve the 29. Instead of having 29 quarters, you could have 14.5 quarters, and then double each number and get 29 over 8. So there's a couple of ways to do that. If you ever want to halve something and you've got like a number or you've got a decimal or something like that, if you multiply it by a half, you can get your answer. So it's half of is this multiplying by a half. So you can use a calculator to do that if you need to, or if you're in a long calculator paper and you've got a fraction, just multiply across top and bottom. But if you ever want to halve a fraction, you can just halve the numerator and just have half as many quarters and then double up so that you get a nice whole number. So 29 over 8. Now we want to know how many kilometers he cycled at this point. It'd be a bit weird to give it as 29 over 8 kilometers, a bit strange. So how many 8's going to 29? It's 3, gives you 24. So remainder is 5 eighths. Okay, so at that point he's cycled 3 5/8 of a kilometer. It's a good idea to try to get the same sort of, the same sort of setup that they've got in the question. So if they've got a mixed number, you try to give a mixed number as well. All right. Next, the graph of y equals x minus 3 is drawn on the grid. Fine. Okay. Now this is quite a challenging question, but it's something that we haven't done too much of just yet. But we'll need to make sure that we can do it. It's draw the line on the grid. So the best thing with this is to know that this is going to be a straight line. Okay, you're not going to see any curves or anything like that in your year 9 checkpoint, so it should be simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to try out some values of just x. So we're going to try out some values and see what y comes out as. So when x is, say, 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to try what happens if 0 goes in here. So we'd have 2 times 0 plus y equals 3. Well, 2 times 0 is 0. So you just have y equals 3, because this would be 0, so you wouldn't need to write it. So when x is 0, y is 3. Okay, fine. All right. Next, we've got 2 times, if x is, say, 1, we've got 2 times 1 plus y equals 3. Well, 2 times 1 is 2 plus y equals 3, so it's quite obvious that y would have to be 1, because 2 plus 1 makes 3. All right, fine. Okay, let's try another one. We've got 2 times 2 plus y equals 3. So we go with 4 plus y equals 3. So what do you have to do with 4 to get to 3? Well, that would mean that y is taking away 1. All right. Now, the reason I chose 0, 1, and 2 is nothing special. It's literally just because they're really easy numbers to do. Try to choose 3 numbers whenever you're asked to do something like drawing a line. Choose 3 numbers just to make sure that they come out in a straight line. If they don't come out in a straight line, you probably made a mistake. Okay. So we've got 0 for x, so along to 0 and up to 3. We go like that. Along to 1 and up to 1, we go there, and along to 2 and down to -1, we'd go there. All right. Now, we'd need a ruler. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit challenging for me to draw it on this thing, so I'm going freehand. I don't have like a ruler setting on the thing I'm using, so you need to use a ruler and go all the way. It's going to take me ages to do it. All right. Now, the simultaneous equations are solved where they meet. Okay, so both equations are true at that point. So when x is 2 and y is -1, x is 2, y is -1, is the point at which you'll get both equations working out the same way. So when x is 2, y would have to be -1. When x is 2, 2 take away 3 is -1, y would be -1, fine. And when x is 2, all the way over here, yeah, you can see it here, when x is 2, y would have to be -1. So that's the only occasion where both of those lines would be working, okay, when x is 2 and y is -1. All right, next up. Nadia is organising a party. She wants to buy 18 litres of orange juice. Fine. She can buy it from her local shop or from the supermarket. Now, her local shop offers a discount of 12.5% off the total price if she buys 12 or more cartons. Okay, well, she'll definitely buy more than 12 cartons from the local shop. She wants to buy the orange juice from just one shop. She don't want to go around messing about. So work out which shop is cheaper and by how much. So for me, what I would do with this is probably something that's not necessarily quite common. But what I'm going to do is just work out what this price is once we take 12.5% off. Okay, and once we know what that 12.5% is, we'll just compare them because they're both litres. Another thing that somebody might do is they might work out 18 litres at the supermarket, work out 18 litres at the local shop, and then take off 12.5%. It's fine, you can do lots of different ways. For me, though, what I'm going to do is find out just the cost of 1 litre. And since I'm going to buy them all from one shop, really I'll just need to compare that cost of 1 litre, and the 18 is sort of irrelevant. So let's take a look at the local shop. Well, 100% of the price is $2.48. So that would mean that 50% of the price would be $1.24, which would mean that 25% of the price would be, well, it's going to take us a little bit of time to work that out. So we've got half of $1 is 50, half of 24 cents would be 12, so that would be 62 cents. Okay, and now half of 25 is actually 12.5%. Okay, it's one of the weird percentages that people don't normally like to work out, but actually half of 25% is 12.5%, and that makes it quite easy to do. All right, so we get 31 cents is the saving per carton. Okay, so we'll have $2.48. We're going to take away the 31 cents, and we'll end up with $2.17 per carton at the local shop. All right, so that would mean that it's actually cheaper at the supermarket, and it's cheaper by 7 cents per carton. So the supermarket is cheaper by 7 cents, 0.07. Okay, you can see that it's going to be 7 cents because you have $2.17 and $2.10. Okay, so it's 7 cents, and she's buying 18 of them, so we need to do 7 cents times by 18. All right, now you should be able to do that really easily. There should be lots of different ways that you can think of to do it. So a good way to do it would be 7 times 8, which is 56, and then 7 times 10, which is 70, and add those up. Okay, $1.26 is how much it's cheaper by. Or you could use like a column method, or you could use, I don't know whether this is a calculator paper question. If it is, then use a calculator to do it. There's lots of different ways to do this. Okay, you should be absolutely fine with stuff like that, but make sure that you double check it. Let me just run through the names of the topics so that you can research them on Corbett. All right, with this one, it would just be to do with dividing mixed numbers. Okay, there's nothing crazy going on there. That would be dividing mixed numbers. With this one, this would be plotting straight lines using an XY table. So if you go on to Corbett and you search XY, you'll probably find the right sort of stuff. And once you've plotted the straight line, the easy part is solving simultaneous equations graphically. Okay, so make sure you don't get on there with anything that's got curves or anything like that. But really the most important part is plotting using an XY table. If you search XY, it'll probably show up pretty easily. And the other thing here is this is best buys. Okay, so you might search best buys, but also really it's to do with percentages of amounts as well. Okay, so percentages of amounts and best buys are the things you want to look for on this one. All right, best of luck. Hopefully you're enjoying your holiday, not working too hard. Just make sure that you're taking some time to relax. I'm pleased to see that you're doing some bits and pieces as well. All right, well done. See you soon.